Survival on Purpose coverage of the 2018 SHOT Show is sponsored by Olight Flashlights and Hog Holsters. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose coverage of the 2018 SHOT Show. I'm here with John McClain, who's a competitive shooter with Arms Corps, right?
Correct.
Arms Corps. And so we're taking a look at the 22 TCM. Did I get that right?
You did.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm telling you, I'm so cold, my brain is not working. But this is a really cool thing from Rock Island Armory. Is it Rock Island?
Rock Island Armory is the firearms manufacturer. Arms Corps is the ammunition side of the manufacturing.
So, and this is a pretty unusual round. Basically, took a 9mm and necked it down to a 22 caliber, something like that.
Essentially, in a way, it actually started with having one of our head gunsmith guy named Freddie Craig was looking at a empty bucket full of 223 brass. I was wondering what we were going to do with it, and we were just kind of like, I don't know, we'll probably just reprocess it and remanufacture or something like that. So he asked to take it back with him to see if he could see what he can come up with. Well, sure enough, he came back with this interesting little cartridge. So essentially, it's a 223 that's been cut up to a 9mm. But you know, if we want to talk about dimensions-wise, this technically that would be it. But the easiest way to explain it would be, yeah, it's roughly about a 9mm size cartridge crimped down to a 22 caliber bullet. So
I just shot it, and what's amazing to me is you think that'd be like a pretty high pressure round and it's going to have a lot of kick. I mean, it is really fun to shoot. It doesn't, the recoil is so low. I was able to stay on target like as fast as I could pull the trigger, which if you've seen much of my shooting, you know that's very unusual. It's just fun to shoot.
Yeah, you know, it turned into a very interesting cartridge to play with, but we also found a lot of different applications for it. As a competitive shooter, I shoot hundreds of thousands of rounds. I spend hours and hours upon hours training on a range to perfect my skill and my craft. But for some of those that don't have the time, energy to really do that, on the training side of it, you know, when you're shooting 45 or a 40 or something like that with a bigger full-size cartridge, if you're not training on a consistent basis, you have a tendency to develop flinches and anticipations and stuff like that. And then also for females and juniors that are up and coming, sometimes they just can't handle a full 9mm size, you know, round yet. They have limp wrist issues or whatever. The interesting thing about this gun was because it's still a full-size cartridge, just it's a 22 caliber bullet, but it's so much easier to manage. The slide is so much easier to rack that a lot of females and juniors, it's very simple for them to actually function this gun and to get comfortable with the way it works. So once they get comfortable with the platform and their confidences build up, now when you put a 9mm in their hand, they're familiar with the platform, they're familiar with how everything works. So it's almost a great training round to get from, you know, shooting the 22 caliber pistol to getting to a full-size 9. You find that we have this nice little in-between round now where, again, they can use a full-size pistol to train and practice with, and then eventually graduate to the 9, which this gun comes with. It comes with a 9mm barrel and a 9mm guide rod spring, so you can shoot both calibers out of this gun.
That's really, so it's basically a 1911 9mm size frame.
Correct.
So the ergonomics are all the same. I didn't know it came with a 9mm best.
Yeah,
cool.
Everything about this gun, the only thing that you have to do is you field strip it as if you were going to clean it.
Yep.
You swap out the 22 TCM barrel for the 9mm barrel. The spring that comes in here with the 22 TCM is, I believe, 7 pounds. You swap it out for the 10-pound trigger, or a 10-pound spring. You reassemble the gun, and you use the same mags. The magazines are the same as 9mm mags, so you get 2 calibers in one when you buy this firearm.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So that's what I was wondering, kind of what the advantage is of doing that, but the fact that you can swap it out for 9. So you've got essentially a practice pistol and a carry pistol.
Correct.
Or just a fun to shoot pistol. I'm telling you, it's fun to shoot.
This, you know, I kind of call it a giggle round.
Yeah.
The majority of people, I mean, I've had competitive shooters that have been shooting for 10, 15, 20 years sometimes. The first shot that they fire through this gun, they turn around and laugh at me because they're like, is this really just happened? Like, the first time I shot it personally, I actually thought the gun malfunctioned because of how fast everything went. And yet I heard this big boom, I see this big fireball kicking out of the end, but I didn't feel any recoil. I literally thought the gun had broken on me, but nope, that's just how it was.
Yeah,
I mean,
was
this
really
gun
a pleasure.
Really easy to handle.
Yeah. So do you know the MSRP on this?
You know, depending on the models, we have the standard models, then we have our ultra models, and that's just kind of comes up with how many bells and whistles do you want. If you want like a GI standard stylish gun where there's, you know, no ambidextrous safeties or anything like that, those guns tend to retail around like the $560 price. Once you get the all bells and whistles like this one is, this is our single stack, you get the adjustable rear sight, a fiber optic front sight, skeletonized trigger, skeletonized hammer, ambidextrous safeties, and a magwell on the bottom of it. So I mean, everything you can possibly want with a gun, including the upgraded grips. This gun retails for about, I think about $860,
which is still very competitive for the features it's
absolutely
got.
Yeah. I mean, it's, like I said, it's got everything that you already want to put on your 1911.
Good. And these are made in the Philippines, right?
Correct.
So just Rock Island Armory, which is I knew you guys for your 45s, but I came to check that out and thought this is pretty cool. So this is a reasonably new model, right?
Well, you know, the guns we've been progressing and increasing how many different models we make, but as far as the caliber goes, we've actually been making this round for about 7 years now. It's been around. It's just
I'm right on top of the cutting edge of firearms use, as you always know. So
well, you know, it's funny. It's the way the firearm industry can be sometimes. It's like when something works, then why change it? Well, in this case, we changed it because we wanted to see what could we do that was different, new, fun, and had some interesting purposes. And I think this round, like I said, I've personally found a lot of positive sides to having it. Including having the 2 different calibers. It's like if you don't want to shoot the TCM or you can't find it for whatever reason, well then swap it out and now you have 9mm.
Yeah, so bottom line, for around the $500-600 mark, you can get a pistol that is both 9mm and the
22 TCM.
22 CCM is the name of the round. So, and pretty cool stuff. So, well, John, thanks so much for taking time.
No problem.
We got a little footage of me shooting this thing. It really was fun. So, as always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. I put out a brand new video every Friday and Saturday, and very often random videos throughout the week. You can check out a new one right here. If you're not subscribed, just click down in the corner and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Once again, my name is Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.